Ruth was eager to destroy any man that comes her way. In the city of Lagos State, Nigeria, there lived a young girl named Ruth. Ruth grew up in a home where men were always causing pain and suffering. Her father was abusive to her and her mother. She learned to distrust and hate men from a young age. As she got older, Ruth's anger and bitterness only grew. The only thought on her mind was how she can deal with men mercilessly because of how her father treated her mother. One day, on her way out, she met one of her friends, Esther, who introduced her to women's secret cult that shared their hatred for men. They taught her how to curse and manipulate men, making them fail in life. Ruth dedicated her life to destroying men who had promising futures. She would use her charms and magic to make them poor and miserable. She believed this was the only way to protect women from suffering, like she and her mother had. One faithful day, Ruth set her sights on a young man named Chitty. He was smart, kind, and had a bright future ahead. Ruth was determined to ruin him, but as she got to know him, she saw something different. Chitty was not like the men from her past. He was respectful and cared for those around him. For the first time, Ruth questioned her mission. Was she doing the right thing? Was hating all men really the answer? She began to see that not all men were the same, and that maybe, just maybe, she had been wrong all along. Ruth's doubts grew stronger, and she started to question the cult's teachings. She began to see that her actions were causing harm to innocent men and their loved ones. She realized that she had been perpetuating a cycle of hate and hurt, just like the men who had hurt her in the past. Ruth later made a decision to leave the cult and make amends for her past wrongdoings. She started by trying to reverse the curses she had placed on the men she had harmed, including Chitty. Chitty, who had been struggling to understand why his life was falling apart, was shocked to learn that Ruth had been behind his misfortunes. But instead of anger, he felt compassion and forgiveness towards her. Together, Ruth and Chitty worked to rebuild his life and restore his future. Through their journey, Ruth learned the power of forgiveness, redemption, and the importance of not judging all men by the actions of a few. Ruth's transformation inspired others, and soon, she was helping other women who had been hurt by men to find healing and a new path forward. She became a beacon of hope, showing that, even in the darkest of places, there is always a chance for change and a new beginning. Ruth's newfound purpose led her to establish a rehabilitation center for women who had been hurt by men. She named it Hope Haven and dedicated herself to helping others find the same healing and redemption she had experienced. Years passed, and Hope Haven became a beacon of hope for women from all walks of life. Ruth's story inspired many, and her center became a safe haven for those seeking refuge from the pain and trauma inflicted by men. While she was standing outside the building of Hope Haven, a young woman named Mary approached her, broken and battered by her abusive husband. Ruth saw herself in Mary and took her under her wing, guiding her through the healing process. As Mary progressed, Ruth realized that her own journey was far from over. She had yet to confront the root of her pain, her father, who had started it all. With a newfound sense of courage, Ruth decided to face her father and confront the hurts of her past. It was time to break the cycle of hate and hurt once and for all. Ruth's heart raced as she stood outside her childhood home, the same place where her father's abuse had scarred her so deeply. She took a deep breath and knocked on the door. Her father, now an old man, answered. He looked at Ruth with a mix of surprise and guilt. "Ruth, my daughter," he said, his voice trembling. Ruth stood tall, her voice firm. "I've come to confront you, Father. To confront the pain you caused me and my mother. To confront the hate that consumed me for so long." Her father looked down, shame in his eyes. "I was a monster, Ruth. I'm so sorry." Ruth's anger and hurt began to melt away, replaced by a sense of compassion and understanding. She saw her father for what he was, a broken man, just like the ones she had hurt in the past. "I forgive you, Father," Ruth said, tears streaming down her face. "And I pray that you find peace and redemption, just as I have." With that, Ruth closed the door on her past and walked away, free from the chains of hate and hurt. She returned to Hope Haven, where she continued to help others find their own path to healing and redemption. And so, Ruth's story came full circle, a testament to the power of forgiveness, compassion, and the human capacity for change and growth. She proved that even in the darkest of places, there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. Here are the moral lessons from Ruth's story. 1. Forgiveness is key. Ruth's journey teaches us that forgiveness is essential for healing and moving forward. Holding on to hate and anger only perpetuates a cycle of hurt. 2. Redemption is possible. Ruth's transformation shows that people can change and grow. We should never give up on others or ourselves. 3. Don't judge all by a few. Ruth's experiences with abusive men led her to generalize, but she learned that not all men are the same. 4. Compassion and understanding can overcome hate. Ruth's ability to see her father's humanity and vulnerability helped her forgive and find peace. 5. Healing is a journey. Ruth's story illustrates that healing is a process that takes time, effort, and support. These moral lessons inspire us to embrace forgiveness, compassion, and personal growth, and to support others on their own journeys towards healing and redemption. Don't forget to subscribe for more African stories. See you in the next video.